Deep in the swamps of southwest Florida, Hope and Barry are exploring the world of wildlife rehabilitation. They're learning new techniques and lending a helping hand. But in Florida, working with wildlife could mean coming face to face with alligators.
Wow, his head is big.
As man pushes further and further into the wild, nature suffers. This unique rehab center on Canada's East Coast offers injured and orphaned animals one last chance. 1,000 animals, 100 volunteers, and one woman at the center of it all. Her name is Hope. Hope and Dr. Barry are flying south to visit wildlife rehabs in the Sunshine State. Southwest Florida has an incredible range of habitats: shoreline havens for wading birds, unique wetlands, and swamps teeming with alligators. The diversity of wildlife here means a huge volume of animals who need help. Hope and Barry are going to visit two very busy wildlife rehabs to see how they handle their massive caseloads. The first rehab is on Sanibel Island, a unique community with vast preserved wild spaces. The rehab here is called CROW. That stands for Clinic for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife. CROW takes in more than 4,000 injured and orphaned animals each year. The rehab has a visitor center, specialized outdoor enclosures, and a fully equipped veterinary clinic on site. Some patients are unique to the Florida coastline, like this white pelican, and wading birds like this white ibis. Others, like raccoons, are going to be a lot more familiar to Hope and Barry. Like Hope for Wildlife, CROW relies on a few core staff, like Gina here, who's got a feisty cormorant on her hands. The rest of the team are volunteers and student interns, like Hillary, who's just given this great blue heron a pre-release exam. Hope and Barry want to see what they can learn from a rehab that handles so many patients.
But I think it's a good chance to really pick their brains on shorebirds, because I think we have a pretty bad track record on shorebirds.
We don't do well.
And I'm looking forward to seeing some pelicans.
Yeah.
Because it's been a while.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, Hope. Welcome to CROW.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you. Dr. Barry,
Hey.
I'm Steve.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Steve is the director of CROW. He's going to be showing Hope and Barry around.
You can see we're set right among the wetlands here on Sanibel, so it's not uncommon. We live kind of in peaceful coexistence with a lot of nature right here around our facilities. There'll be alligators, birds, turtles, all kinds of wildlife right here, right around the facility. So this is our pelican enclosure, and you can see in here we have a couple of cormorants on top of the platform, and it looks like I have a pelican down in the pool. The goal here is to make sure that they're ready for release.
The clinic building at CROW is far away from the prying eyes of the public. They want to give their patients peace and quiet.
I always tell people this is the most important room in the whole place. This is the laundry room. Laundry is a critical part of what we do here.
Oh, God.
The laundry facility would be really on my wish list, but I don't have the space, but it would be really great to have something like this.
7 days a week, 365 days a year, the washers and dryers are running, and we'll probably go through 40 baskets of towels a day.
Crow's Clinic is a modern, specially built facility, only a few years old. Hope and Barry are planning to build an on-site wildlife hospital back at Hope for Wildlife.
Got your autoclave and your anesthetic and everything you need.
They had a great on-site hospital, and it's something that we're working towards, and we hope to be there soon. So it's nice to compare the two facilities from the medical end of things. It was very organized and modern. I mean, they need that. They see over 4,000 animals a year.
And this will be our second of our admitting rooms right here. They are our #1 most seen patient here. We'll probably see in the neighborhood of 500 Virginia opossum during a 12-month period.
It's a good thing they rehab quite quickly.
Yeah, no, I've never seen a possum, like, other than in pictures and stuff. I think they're actually very cute. I mean, the tail is pretty amazing, though.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll step in here and I'll introduce you to Dr. Diane.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Dr. Diane is one of a rotating cast of veterinarians caring for the patients at Crow until their permanent vet arrives in a few months.
So this is a cormorant that came in. The history we have, he was on the beach and he was disoriented. We need to do a full exam on him, but we're kind of under the assumption that he'll probably be a red tide associated bird.
Red tide is a toxic bloom of algae. The algae is eaten by small fish. Birds eat the fish, and the toxin moves its way up the food chain.
And I don't see any obvious oil, I don't see any obvious lines. He's just very, very thin.
Wow.
You can feel his keel, he's emaciated. So he's probably been down for a while. Usually with these guys, I will set them on the ground just real quick to see what they do, if they can hold themselves up or not. He's not even placing his feet. This is one of the worst ones I've seen.
In birds, red tide attacks the neurological system, creating a whole host of problems, including paralysis.
Like, I mean, we don't do a lot of cormorants, and if I saw him come in, I'd be like, this is not going to turn out good.
Honestly, most of them, when they come in like this, a lot of times it is a euthanasia or they die within the 24 to 48 hours is probably what you're seeing as well.
And that's exactly the way we do it too. That was one of the reasons I was excited to come here, because you guys do so many seabirds. I find we have such a poor success rate with the seabirds, and we're on a coast, right? And I don't know if it's because I'm missing something, or because we're not set up for them, or if just by the time they come to land and you can catch them, they're so far gone that you can't help them.
I think that's the biggest part of it.
Just as the two doctors are getting to know each other, business begins picking up big time.
A juvenile, just like Ralph.
There's a half-dozen injured animals arriving all at once.
That's a loon in there.
Okay. Excuse me, guys. Cormorants, I think they said are in the worst shape. They're in the worst shape? Yeah.
In a wildlife emergency, a visiting vet isn't just on vacation. Dr. Barry's about to be put to work. Hope and Barry's visit to a wildlife rehab in Florida just got interrupted by a rush of wildlife emergencies. The most critically injured are cared for first. There's nothing funny about this laughing gull's condition. Its wing is practically broken off.
So unfortunately, with a fracture like this being exposed, this is one where I would automatically do a euthanasia because he's not going to be releasable at this point.
We do the same with the seagulls. They come in, the wings kind of turned a few times. Even if you could fix the bone, you're not fixing their support structures.
Yes,
the
they'll
ligaments
never
and stuff.
they'll never be flighted again, and our goal is to get them back out into the wild. And if we can't get them back out in the wild, it's not fair to them.
Right.
So
No,
it's
we do
a
the same
immediate
thing.
at that point euthanasia.
There's no time to mourn for the gull. There's more animals who need help. They have to move on to the next patient. This brown pelican was discovered lying helpless on a beach.
Oh, it's okay, sweetie. A severe lesion. There, you can see that. Probably from a hook at some point, I would assume.
Dr. Diane thinks some of its injuries could have been caused by a careless fisherman.
Severe swelling right here, you can feel that. Over his metacarpals. And you can see a little bit of abrasion there. It's very swollen. So he may have even had line wrapped around him. So we'll go ahead and do what I call a plot view x-ray with no anesthesia. He's way too stressed to put him under for a nice straight view at this point. I'm looking for hooks. It's all I'm really looking for is hooks at this point. I'm not going to see perfect
It's on the wish
fractures.
list, right?
This is not beautifulness.
But at least we can see he moved his beak a little bit, obviously, his bill, so that the right marker is in there, but there's no obvious, at this point, hooks that we can see. We still got his head in there well enough for where the lesion is.
They're going to let the pelican rest for a few minutes. But there's no rest for the vets and volunteers. The next patient is a female red-throated loon.
You want to do the exam on the loon?
You want to?
You and I can do the exam.
Okay, let's do it.
I'll move things along.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then you can double check me.
Okay. I think I trust you, but okay.
Dr. Diane doesn't have much experience with loons. Lucky for her, Dr. Barry has had plenty of practice with them.
You tell me when you're comfortable.
The loon's beak can be dangerous, so Gina is careful to keep it under control.
Oh my gosh, you're strong.
Well, looks okay.
Okay, now.
The loon was found grounded on a beach.
I know, it is pitiful. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever heard a loon. I've never even
No.
seen one.
Oh.
Barry checks the wings first, looking for any obvious injuries.
We got his third eyelids.
Working, but he's not
Yeah.
really truly blinking.
No, and he's not following me with this eye either.
Now he's testing to see if the loon will blink. If it doesn't, it's probably a sign of red tide.
Because there's really no inflammation or anything around them.
Okay,
So just a little.
They used the same test on the loon as they did on the cormorant, placing it on the floor to see if it can right itself.
Can you pull it forward?
It looks like red tide, but its symptoms aren't as severe as the cormorant. Dr. Barry recommends rehabilitating the bird, but it'll take a long time.
any idea where we want to put him?
The team at Crow are impressed with Dr. Barry's work.
He did great. He has more experience with loons than I do, so it was very nice to have someone with more loon experience to take a good look and do a wonderful exam on them.